I saw her waxen skin shine pearl. Alas, I knew she was dead. But I despaired little, for I knew that soon I would be too.
And when he found her, he found himself. For she was all that was right in the world, all that was honeyed. Through her eyes of heather marble, she filled the flask of his soul in such ways he could not even elicit a single memory of what it was to be empty. Yet empty was the only thing he had ever been. The foreigner who up until now had been barren of anything chaste, of the most infinitesimal trace of divinity, felt the touch of God. Through this anointed image that his eyes now fed him, this message demonstrated in the flesh of alabaster woman, he had found everything that was lost.
Dying under a rayless sun, I crawled on all fours. I had a dream once. Something with flowers, prettier than this. My labored breaths hastened in speed, decreased in depth. The obsidian sun was blinding in its oxymoronic gleam of gloom, its black light brighter than any other white luminance ever emanated from it. The black fire of Jahannam. The ash of all organic material caked the earth as a moribund snow. 'Twas soft to the touch, inviting one to fall upon it in capitulation. The embers swirling round my nose and cracked lips. Once, the flesh of dancing children and singing mothers burned my lungs with their memory. Was it worth it? I pondered. Was fighting the sun worth the dried, stiffened earth? All he importuned was our servitude to his master, God. When he, the sun, came down to earth, he came in the most groveling humility. And in his hushed voice he enunciated the words of his master, hardly a whisper, uttered over his clasped tawny hands. In this servile and meek state, he arrived at our earth to beg us to cease our blaspheming and our utterances of profanities and come back to the embrace of our Creator's clemency. We pelted his body with our stones and missiles cackling at his message. We preferred our own lords, gods of stone and wood. Ridiculing his image and piety, we pelted his refulgent body to the bitterest black, battered the light out of his form in such a furor, we saw the honey, like blood, drip from the sun's splendid body. And in a humiliated and wounded silence, he ascended from the earth back high into a heaven that we found suddenly to be a pulsating red. With God's permission, he enslaved us under a thermal rage that baked us like stones. The eyes of my mother melted in her sockets like wax. My father ignited like a candle doused in pitch. Our temples crumbled as they cooked all worshippers within. The grease of their bodies oozed from beneath the doors. And now, as I yet dare live, the true reminder of who we are is displayed before me in oil of men and ash of women. The black sun, reclining in the scarlet sky, hated me and me alone, the last human to ever exist.
Not once did I even know, let alone believe, that I would get out. Years of bracing, contracting, recoiling. I cannot even recall one waking moment when my jaw was not clenched, when my hands were not squeezed upon something, as though gripping whatever it was would have brought me safety. Even in my dreams, that really were nothing more than nightmares, the teeth in my mouth remained mashed. In sleep, my eyes continued to bear witness to that which could not be witnessed. All my muscles were bound tightly round my bones. All my blood surged as liquid steel. Every sound, both of mechanical cruelty and organic horror, were the cries of things that coveted for my death. No more did I have to imagine hell, for opening my eyes did all the work of my imaginings. I collapsed in deliria, screaming, clutching my ears. Solid state, pure hate, crowned titanium. I was that no more, perhaps less. All around me, those I knew were cast into oblivion by assorted lights. At first, I feared the hour of when it would be my turn to face that blackened end. And as though a sacrificial lamb, I feared it with the screaming denial whose throat is pierced by the raping knife, not accepting it all the way to the bitter end. Later, I welcomed, imagined it, accepted whatever end would have brought. How it would feel to experience that which my foes and friends experience. Could I brave it? I could. Time passed, days came and went like years, and years passed like eons. I grew numb to the fear. It was not so much that I did not possess it, but when one is drowned in something infinitely, how can one not grow in feeling to it? Do bones feel skin? It was not that I accepted my fate, I just simply knew of no other. Indifference of the highest order became me. So when I stepped off the transport, and they told me I was done, that I must go home and live in peace, I could not comprehend this mission or its parameters. But when I came to and saw that very peace, the breaths of life, witnessed a world not on fire, my mind disintegrated. The horror of release broke me.